Friends, this is me Sujit Rajvanshi, and we are going to study the compiler design phase of the compiler. So okay, if I am comfortable with the Hindi also, I can speak in Hindi if you are comfortable. So यहाँ पर हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि जैसे कि हम लोग का compiler phases है, means different phases of the compiler. So what actually the compiler means? So it is a program that can read a program in one language, that is a source language, and translate it into a equivalent program language, that is another target language, means the machine code. First of all, we are taking the source language as input and convert that source language into equivalent target language, that is the machine code. So here we can represent in the diagram where a source program taken as input, and it will pass to the compiler, where mainly it is categorized into two phases or two parts, we can say, analysis and synthesis. Inside those altogether there are the 6 phases of the compiler, keep it in mind, okay? And after the compilation it will produce a target program, that is a machine language. So we can summarize into this diagram form, so you can get better idea about it. So here we are taking character streams, like we can say that streams of the characters as an input, and that will pass to the lexical analyzer. It will produce token stream, and that will pass to the next phase of the compiler, that is the syntax analyzer, and it will produce a syntax tree, and again that syntax tree will be taken as an input to the semantic analyzer, which will produce again the syntax tree, and it will check the semantic errors, like that we'll see in further part. And that syntax tree will be provided as an input to the intermediate code generator, that will produce intermediate representation, and that will be passed to the machine code optimizer for the optimization process. It will again produce the same intermediate representation, that will be passed to the code generator, that is the final step of final phase of the compiler, that will produce the target machine code, and then machine independent code optimizer. This is the optional, we can use optimizer at the last, or we can use here code optimizer, that is also enough for us. But optimization phase will cost more, so if it is possible to use optimizer, then we can use after the code generator also. So now let's get started from the first phase of the compiler, that is the lexical analyzer. So this lexical analyzer is also called the scanner, because it scans all the character streams. So here the main function, it reads the streams of the characters making up source program and groups them into meaningful sequence called lexemes. So it will take all the characters, stream of characters, and from the source code, and group them as a single sequence, or we can say that it will produce a meaningful sequence that we can call it as a lexeme. So for each lexemes, lexical analyzer produce token as output. This token, the main task or the main function of the lexical analyzer is to produce token. So we have the format of the token. It will be provided with token name followed by the attribute value. So now let's take one example, you can get better idea. So here we can take the example like position equals to initial plus rate into 60. Now suppose this is our character streams, and we are passing through the lexical analyzer. Then this lexical analyzer process these characters, and it will produce the tokens. So we have the idea that the token format or syntax of the token is the token name followed by attribute value. No, so just each of the term here, each of the character will be formed as a token here. So now position, we can take it as a token name, we can take it as a id1, okay, id, okay, name of the token is id comma attribute value 1. Again this is the assignment sign operator, assignment operator. Again this is the character, we can take it as id comma 2 operator. Here treat as id comma 3 and then 60. So these are the tokens produced by the lexical after taking the position equals to initial plus rate into 60 as a input. So now after getting the tokens from produced by the lexical analyzer, this token is passed to the next phase of the compiler, that is the syntax analyzer. We call it as a parser. So main function of the parser is to check the errors. So here the main syntax analyzer, main function of the syntax analyzer is to collect the tokens as input and produce syntax tree as output. So whatever the tokens we have got from the first phase of the compiler, now we are going to make syntax tree of the respective tokens. So now we have got final result as id1 equals to id2 plus id3 into 60. So this is the token. So now while passing it to the syntax analyzer, it will produce the syntax tree. So now here we know that syntax tree has the left hand side and the right hand side nodes are present. So we are arranging these tokens in the same way. So here equals to sign, left hand side is the id comma 1 and right hand side again two operators are two nodes are there, id2 and id3. So between them there is a plus, so write plus here id comma 2 and again in the id3 there is a one more node, that is 60. So we have to take the operator sign, so into here id comma 3 60. So this is the syntax tree for the respective token. So now this syntax tree is being sent to the next phase of the compiler, that is the semantic analyzer. Now what does this semantic analyzer do? It will check the source program for the semantic errors. So although the syntax is correct, okay, syntactically it is correct, we have to check it as a systematic semantic errors. Like we have to check for the type conversions or the type information of the code generation. So it will check for ensuring the components of the program suites together meaningfully, like type checking. Okay, so example, we have taken the syntax tree. Okay, now as it is we will write here syntax tree same what we have the input, okay, id2 and the id3 60. Okay, now this will pass to the semantic analyzer, okay, and it will produce the same syntax tree, because as we have seen in the diagram that the output of the syntax analyzer and the semantic analyzer is same syntax tree. So here it will also produce the syntax tree only, but what the difference is there, the type conversion. So now here equals to sign id1 plus this is same id2, because here is no any type conversion. So main conversion is in the numerical value. So now here we have the 60. Okay, so in this 60 we are converting this int value into the float. So we can say that int to float. So here 60. So this is the semantic syntax tree which is produced, which is generated by the semantic analyzer, where the all the nodes will remain as it is, but the type, wherever the type conversion is necessary, there it will do the type conversions. Okay, so now next phase of the compiler is the intermediate code generation. So now what actually the intermediate code? Now, so intermediate code is a kind of code which is easy to generate, and this code can be easily converted to the target code. So it generates this phase usually generates the intermediate code which is close to the level of the machine code. So here it has the variety of the form. This it has means the intermediate code has the variety of form, three address code, quadruple, syntax tree, which we will be study in the next classes. But here just we need the general information about the intermediate code. So intermediate code is nearly close to the machine code. So the main function of the intermediate code is to make the rough idea of the machine code, we can say like that. Okay, so before the machine code we get the idea of the code, target code. So what actually the target code refers to. So now again we have the input as a syntax tree, id1 plus id2 minus into id3, and here into float 60. So now here it will pass to the intermediate code generator, and then it will convert into the intermediate code. What actually we are doing here is generating the integer code. So first we are assuming this part. So t1 equals to int to float, that is 60. Okay, so t2 we are assuming this multiplication form. This is the t1. T2 equals to t1 into id3. Again t3 equals to, this is t2, this is t3. So id2 into t2. So now after that we are assigning those value to the id1. So id1 equals to t3. So this is the main result. So this is the intermediate format or intermediate code for the respective tree. So after that we have the phase code optimizer. This is the costly, or this cost more than other compared to other phases of the compiler, because the optimization is the thing where we are optimize the code into the simpler form, or we can say the number of lines of codes we can, or the steps we can reduce in this step. So main objective of the code optimizer is to get the shorter code, target code that consumes less power. So main aim of the compiler or in this phase is to reduce the power consumption. So here we'll take the intermediate code. Okay, here we have id 3 into t1, t3 equals to id2 into id2 plus, this is plus, so id2 plus, and id1 equals to t3. This is the intermediate code. So we are passing to the code optimization, and it will generate the optimized code. Now we have told that we have studied that we have to reduce, or we have to the main aim of the code optimization is to reduce the consumption of the power. So here we are making the number of steps into the simpler form. So now here we are reducing these 4 steps into 2 steps, like t1 equals to id3 into 60.0. Instead of writing into float, we are directly writing to 60.0. and after that instead of writing t1 t2, directly we can write id1 equals to id2 plus t1. That's it. So this is equivalent to this code. So reducing the 4 steps into the 2 steps. So this is the main aim of the code optimization. The last phase of the compiler is the code generation, where we are generating the target program code. So here that it takes the input as intermediate representation, which we have already got from the code optimization of the source program, and maps into a target languages. So here we have the optimized code, intermediate code 60.0, that is ID1 plus T1. So it will pass to the code generator, and it will produce the final code, target code, where we have to load. LDF means load function, where R2 ID3. So we are loading the ID3 into the R2, and we have the function of multiplication. So we have to multiply this ID3 means ID3 into the with the 60. So we have R2, this immediate register, it is directly we are taking the 60.0. So this is the immediate, we can directly take the input as a constant, so multiplication function. So after that we have to load again function, because we have to add with this ID2 no. So load function R1 in next register, where ID2 is loaded. So after that we have to add, what we have to add is R1 comma R2, means whatever the result is stored in the R2, that will be added to the R1. In R1 ID2 is there, so whatever the result is there, we have to store into the ID1. So the adding both the function R2 and R1 will be resulted or stored into the R1. So that R1 value is stored into ID1, because we are storing ID1 as a ID2 into ID2 plus ID3 into 60.0. so these all values are stored into the ID1. So at last we have to store the function, we have to use the STF store function, where R1 value will be stored to the ID1. So that's it. This is the whole concept of the compiler design, phases, different phases. So where all the 6 phases we have discussed, and we have got the target program. Thank you for the listen.